I'm not going to lie, I'm starting to believe. I know it's early. I know it's the beginning of October. But I'm starting to believe we can do something. We are beating teams that we should beat. We're making changes. Our players are rotating. Our players are looking good. And even with injuries, we're still producing. I think something special is coming. Let's talk. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another Rican reaction. And it's Arsenal 2, West Ham 0. And we got the job done. We got 3 points, we got a clean sheet, and we got a home win. And we're top of the league. I know. It's October. We still have 31 games to go. We still have a long way. But to go into the international break with the run of games that we had, top of the league, I'm not going to lie, I doubted it. I doubted it because of how we played in the early games. But I have to give credit to Mikel Arteta. I have to give credit to the team. We played away at Old Trafford. We played away at Anfield. We played away at St. James's Park. And to be 1 point ahead of Liverpool, with some of the easy games they had, I think it's great. Because the only, tough away games I would say that we have, we still got to go to Etihad. We still got to go to the Toilet Bowl. But I take where we are with the run of games we had. So I'm proud of the guys. As far as today's game, I think we dominated. I think it was total domination. And the stats show that. I mean, we had 21 shots to their 4. And I think 2 of the shots, I can remember off the top of my head, probably came in the first, 10 minutes? They had 0 shots on target. 4 shots, 0 on target. We had 5. And that would be my only gripe with kind of our performance today. I thought that we should have been up at least 3 or 4 goals in the first half. We were a little bit wasteful. Calafiori hits the post. There's that jumble where Gyökeres is wrestling, and we'll talk about that later. But he's wrestling, and then it falls to Eze, and then Eze just kicks it into no man's land. Like, I felt that we should have been at least 3-0 up before the break. And then after, West Ham kind of tried to get a little bit of possession, but we were still all over them. And yeah, our 2 goals, Declan Rice, Eze, I think Eze kind of hits it off the post, or, it hits it off the defender, and it falls to Rice. Rice buries it. And then the second one is Yuri Timber is just spinning people, and he gets fouled in the box. Saka penalty, and that's Saka's 200th appearance for Arsenal, so he scored a goal. And yeah, I think it was pretty easy. From my point of view. I mean, we had 69% possession. We had 565 passes to their 263. I mean, I think that was a dominating game. As I said, the only thing I'd like to see is be more clinical and go. If I had one negative, we just weren't clinical enough. And even though it's a poor West Ham, those not being clinical will come back to bite you against better teams like the Man Cities, like some of the teams that can actually put us I wouldn't say anybody can put us to the sword, but can capitalize on, our not being clinical. As far as my feeling, and I'll go through the team in a minute, but as far as my feeling, I'm not going to lie to you guys, man, I am starting to believe. I always call myself rationally delusional, because even though I said that Arteta hasn't shown me that he can win, and he hasn't shown me that he can win in tough pressure situations, 5 years, 21 attempts, or 24 attempts, and no trophies. I mean, it's plain to see. But I'm not one of these guys who will sit here and say, oh, it doesn't matter what Arteta does, I still want him out. No, I want him to win. I want him to get us to the promised land. And I think for the first time in the last couple years, I'm seeing a difference. I'm seeing him make tactical changes. I put in my team what I would do. I didn't think he would start Eze and Odegaard together. And he did. He put Rice back there, which is what I expected. Rice being the sweeper. And we'll talk about Odegaard, when we kind of go through the game as well. But he made changes. The only thing I would say is we need a left winger. We need a left winger. As good as Trossard looked to start the second half, he can't go 90 minutes. First half, I think he was pretty anonymous. I don't remember hearing anything about him. And I think with how we played with Calafiori bombing, I think a good left winger on that left side would help us out because it would stretch, the fullbacks. It would stretch that back line, and it would allow somebody like Calafiori or Miles Lewis-Skelly to go into midfield and actually get space. I think with Trossard kind of being that slow, no pace, when we get the ball, we're slow and we get it to him, and he can't really outpace anybody. He can't run past anybody. So the fullback catches up, we get back in shape, and then we recycle the ball. So that would probably be the only thing that I'll change. I would like to see a left winger get in there, but other than the team selection, the team selection was great. I think the team selection was great. It's what every fan wanted. In the group chat, we didn't have any issues. We said this is what we want to see. And I'm going to go through the team because I think that there's a lot of credit to be shared, and I think there's, some conversations to be had about some players, but I think it was very solid. David Raya, I mean, the guy is pretty much, he probably put a sofa in the goal and be fine because he ain't got much to do. But the thing that I like is when Raya is called upon, he makes something happen. Like, he will get us a save. And I said it in my other video. There were goalkeepers that we've had that, would have nothing to do. And then when they were called upon, they fumbling, they're costing us goals. When Raya's called upon, he's really solid. So I'll take that. Our back line, let's start on the right and then go left. So Urian Timber, best right back in the Prem. Best right back in the Prem. I mean, the move that he gets to get the penalty, even if he's not fouled, I mean, he's one-on-one with the keeper. He probably squares it. We score anyway. But just, I like to see, defensively, I think he's amazing. And I like when he goes forward. And I think he's getting better at going forward and being more attacking as a right back. I'm excited for Urian Timber. And I think he's only, 23, 24? So I think he can just get better. Our center backs are our center backs, man. As an Arsenal fan who started watching this club in 2015, 2016, just coming from Per Mertesacker and Koscielny and, Socrates, David Luiz, seeing some of the, oh my God, even Mavropanos, to be fair, guys like that. And Mavropanos didn't do bad today, but, just seeing guys when I'm like, man, we're supposed to be at a higher level. Seeing guys get spun, seeing Rob Holding, Callum Chambers, to come to these two giants, Gabriel and William Saliba, and we have them at least for the next 5 years. As an Arsenal fan, it's so great to see that we're going to have a partnership and a strong partnership, and I think one of the best partnerships in Europe. I'm just gassed about it. To the left of them, Calafiori. Now, Ricardo Calafiori, we had some discussions in the group chat because people were just like, what position does he actually play? He's supposed to be a left back, but I've seen Calafiori at the 8. I've seen him at the 10. I've seen him on left wing. I've seen him all over the joint. And I think that my one gripe with Calafiori is he has to do better with his finishing. He had a couple of chances to score goals. And if you're going to be gallivanting up front and take shots, you got to get him on target, and you have to bury him in the back of the net. So that would be my only gripe with Calafiori. I still don't know what it is he's supposed to be doing, but it is what it is. Our midfield is exactly what I wanted to see. Declan Rice with the goal, strong, and his free kicks, man. He should be our corner taker, he should be our free kick taker. His free kicks are good. They get where they're supposed to be. And it's one of the kind of things that I said last season with kind of Odegaard's free kicks. They weren't going past the first man, and they were kind of flat. And Declan Rice came in, and he's done a job. And it's something that we really didn't see at West Ham, but he's improving. You got to give credit to, Cuesta and Arteta for showing us what Declan Rice can give us. In front of them, Emirates Eze, I think he had a midday. I think he should have scored a couple, but I like to see him, out there in the attacking mid next to Odegaard. I think it's good. And somebody, one of the guys said that something you have to take into consideration is, yes, Eze has his dream job and he's a professional, he's in the Prem, but those nerves still get to you. Like, you're still playing for a big club. You're not playing for Crystal Palace where, you can make a mistake and it's fine, we're mid-table anywhere. Like, we're supposed to be competing for a title. And I think that's something for all of the players, but especially a player that's just moved here, you have to think about, like, there's a lot of pressure. I think Eze will come good because he's just a quality player. But maybe, the 2 weeks or week and a half with the international team, he rests up a little bit, and then he comes back and we see more good Emirates Eze. Let's talk Odegaard, man. Now, I was the person who put out the video talking about him being the captain, and I wanted to see more out of him as the captain. And I thought I saw it, man. I thought I saw it, in the couple games that we saw this year, he's been playing well. He's been getting the ball forward. And then he has an unfortunate injury. And it's the second or third injuries he's had this season. Like, he had the shoulder injury. And I thought it was just a class of knees, which hurts. I've been there. But then, he kind of limped off. And I'm hoping that it's nothing. I'm hoping that, maybe he takes some time away from his national team to rest and recuperate. But I think that Martin Odegaard, like, looking at his knees and his legs, I think he need to buck up a little bit, man. He's looking kind of spinally, like. But I worry about Martin Odegaard's fitness. I worry about, he's been out. He had the ankle injury last season. And he's going to be integral. Whether we think he should be the captain or not, I think he's integral in the way Mikel Arteta wants to play. He's integral on the pitch with kind of how he orchestrates things. For me, and I hold my hands up, I'm not one who, sits there and act like I'm great after the fact. I said that I wanted him dropped because I didn't see it last year. And I didn't see it for 18 months last season. But, he got his hair cut, he came back, and his passing has been great. The way he's kind of orchestrating things. And then to see him get injured again, I'm like, oh, man. Because I feel like it deflates us a little bit. Because we played, I'm not gonna lie, we played good with him in there. And it doesn't seem like we have someone that the manager is willing to put in there like a like for like to kind of get that kind of production. So it sucks, and I hope that it's just, a knock. I hope he's fine. I hope he drank some water, some paracetamol, and, he's back after the international break. So I think that we will need Martin Odegaard. Up front, let's start with the right again. Bukayo Saka. A group chat was saying that maybe he looks a little bit slow. And then one of the guys in the group chat was like, nah, he's still good. And then I watched him and I was like, I think he's still there. To me, personally, I think he has, in a bit, he looks like he has lost a little bit of step. But I think that's partially because he's coming back from a hamstring injury. And, he's probably not going to be super fast to start off with. But one thing is true. They will kick him to high heavens, and he will still rinse them. Bukayo was getting past people, and he's just shifty. He's shifty like that. But they will kick him, and I worry about that sometimes as well because I think we're going to need Bukayo. He scored today, and I think it's going to be very important with how well we do this season, and I'd like to keep him fit as possible. I know it's tough because we lost Madueke for a couple months, but I think if we can weather the storm, keep him healthy, once Madueke comes back, that combination I think is going to rinse a lot of teams because they've got the pace, they've got the skill, and yeah, they've got it. They've got it. So I'm always happy to see Bukayo Saka out there. He's one of my favorite players. I just want him to stay fit and healthy for the rest of the season. Up front, Victor Gyökeres. We got to start having a conversation. And one of the guys in the SoFlo group chat said, we have to have a conversation, and are we giving Victor Gyökeres too much grace? Because we wouldn't give this grace to Kai Havertz. And it's true. But I think that the reason he gets so much grace, the reason he's getting so much time from the Arsenal fans, the rival fans going to be on him, but the rival fans going to be on anybody. If we'd have got, Isak, if we had gotten anybody, if they hadn't scored in 2 games, the rival fans aren't going to be on him. It's mostly the Arsenal fans I'm talking about. And, he's like, we're giving him a lot of grace. And I think that the reason we're giving him grace is because he's a top striker. Whether he did it in Portugal or not, he scored, nearly 100 goals in 2 seasons. So you don't become terrible after 5, 6, 7 games, of not scoring. You just have to adjust. Now, what I will say, and what I agree with him is why does he always look like he has to fight someone? Why doesn't he move? Like, Erling Haaland will bully you, but he will also move kind of gracefully. And I watched Gyökeres after he fell like the 5 millionth time, and I was like, I'm just going to watch him. I'm going to watch him. And it seems like he's always backing into contact. It's like, bro, it's not American football. Like, I teach you how to play American football, but this is actual football. Like, why don't you make some runs? Why don't you try to circumvent these guys? Like, I know they're going to be on you because that's their job. But still, like, every time the ball comes into you, you're falling over. It's like, bro, do you have to? But I think he'll grow into it. He's got 2 weeks, or he's got the week and a half off for the international break. He's got more training sessions. I think he'll grow into it. But I'm not going to lie. And as I said, I hold my hands up too. I think that Kai Havertz is better suited to how we're playing now. And it pains me to say that because you know how I feel about Kai Havertz. My issue and my rebuttal is Kai Havertz looked good against these teams. And this is what I would do. If I was Arteta, he looks great against these teams. But who do I trust against the better teams? Who would I trust to finish half chances or chances? We're not really creating many chances for him anyway, but who would I trust to bury those chances? And we saw Kai Havertz. When we needed Kai Havertz, when we needed a goal, he could not finish. Now, Kai Havertz is really good scoring goals when we're on top, when we've already scored a goal. He's really good at finishing the game off. But when it's 0-0 and we need a goal to win the championship, I would still much rather have Victor Gyökeres out there than Kai Havertz. That's just me. But yeah, it's a conversation to have because it's a little bit worrying that he seems like he's not really adjusting. But good strikers are good strikers. And I think with a little bit more, I think we're match week 7. By match week maybe 12, if we're still not kind of seeing anything from Victor Gyökeres, if we're still, if he's still got like 1 goal or, you added just 1 goal, then we have to have that conversation. I think for now, we're still winning, so we're being a bit critical, but we're still winning games. It's when he's not scoring and we're losing games, then I think we should have, the big conversations. On the left side, let's talk about Trossard. And Trossard, for me, should not be a starter. I keep saying this. I thought he played well in spurts. So, to start the second half, he played very well. But we need you to start well in the first half, bro. Like, you're the left winger. We need you to do something in the first half. And I think a lot of these games, especially against West Ham and the lower league teams, it's going to come down to how great we start. Like, how fast we start, how we can put them under the cosh in the first 15, 20 minutes. And I felt in the first 15, 20 minutes, Trossard was invisible. You might as well have put me out there. I probably could have had more touches and more influence on the game. He's not a beginning of the game player. I think he's a super sub. He's, like what people are saying Martinelli is. He's that guy who will come on, and when you need something, when you need a little bit of magic, he'll make it happen. I just don't think he can start games. And I know it's tough for Mikel because we don't really have a great left winger. As much as we like Martinelli, as much as he does stuff, Martinelli's very limited. We're seeing that Martinelli is limited. We're seeing that, he takes 45 million touches, and yeah, it's just, it's not good. It's not good for Martinelli. But I think that I would like to see in January for us to go actually maybe put a little cheeky bid in for left winger and see what happens. The substitutes from the top of my head, Zubimendi, when Odegaard came in, Zubimendi, I thought he did very well. He deputized, he kept the ball moving. Not a lot of sideways. We were trying to progress the ball, so that's great. Ethan Nwaneri came on as well. Miles Lewis-Skelly came on. I thought they were solid. Who else came on? I can't remember, to be fair. Who else came on? But, yeah, I thought as a whole we were solid. It's what I wanted. It's what I wanted, the 3 points. It's what I wanted going into the international break. And I think now is the time for the fans. I think it's the time for the team to just take a breather. Watch the international games. I'm not watching those. But, and then we come back. We've got Fulham when we come back. I think it's a very winnable game. It's Arsenal's B team, so we should play them. Yeah. I think that more than anything, we have an opportunity to make a name for ourselves this year. And not Arsenal, but our team. We have an opportunity to be the team that Arsenal fans say that they are. We have an opportunity to quiet the haters, because what annoys me is a lot of the rival fans are like waxing lyrical about Arsenal. They're saying stuff like, oh yeah, I think they can win the league, oh, they look good. But in my mind, I'm like, it's reverse psychology, because I don't think Gary Neville wants us to do good. I don't think Jamie Carragher wants us to do good. Ian Wright, I know for a fact he wants us to win. Thierry Henry, I know for a fact he wants us to win. Those other guys, I think they're just waffling, man. I think they're waffling so they can say, oh, Arsenal had it so good, and then if we don't win anything, they'll be like, oh, Arsenal, crap. We want, and I think that's what it is. And I want this team to prove them wrong. I want Mikel Arteta to prove them wrong. I want the team to prove them wrong. Bert's is doing his job. I want to be at the end of the year winning something, and I think that these first games I've seen something, and I'm gonna put a video out. My season snapshot. I put a video out during the international break, just talking about how our September went, how I think our October is gonna go. But I can't ask for more, man. I can't ask for the 7 run of games that we had that everyone said was gonna be difficult. We're at the top of the league. We're a point, above Liverpool. And Liverpool just lost to a Chelsea team that ain't look good. They lost to Crystal Palace. We lost to Liverpool, which is probably bad. But, it was early. Those matches happened. I think that we're in good shape. I'm seeing good things from Arteta. I like to see him continue it. I like to see us come back in the international break and, put teams away. So, that's enough of me waffling. Thank you so much for watching. Remember, like, share, subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video. Take it easy.